Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Tanoa. I'm NAF Social Media Coordinator. I want to welcome you to our AAC 2023 virtual session, Mindful Meditation. Before we get started, I wanted to mention a few housekeeping notes. Remember, you can ask questions at any time in the Q&A. You can also feel free to participate in the chat through the chat option. Also, if you miss one of the talks from the conference, don't worry. We'll have all the sessions available for on-demand viewing after the conference. With that out of the way, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Liora Brunn. Liora is the founder and course leader at Zoetic Workshops Incorporated. All right, Liora, hand it off to you.
Thank you. It is, as you said, a brief introduction. So hello, everybody. I have met a number of really extraordinary people today at the conference. I know not everybody can make it to the conference, but I will tell you that if there is any way you can make it going forward with these conferences, it's absolutely worth it. Tanoa had asked if I could say something about how I got into this, but it's been pretty seamless for me in my life, although my life it has not been a seamless life. But the spiritual part, I think I've always been a spiritual person. And there are times when I went away from it. And then there were times when I came back to it. And I would always have this amazing human being that would just gently guide me back into taking a route that was like this, that genuinely made a difference in people's lives. So the courses at Zoetic Workshops, I guess I could explain to you that there are two primary kinds of meditations, although they are currently debunking that we have hemispheric brains like a right brain and a left brain, but there's still a lot of validity to that. And there are right brain meditations and left brain meditations. Left brain meditations tend to be the ones that are more mindfulness meditations, where there's a greater kind of consciousness and more of an awakeness about it, but it doesn't always go that way. And the right brain meditations are the ones that just take us out into spiritual land. And I just saw this note that said, hello from Maryland. I'm from Maryland, for anybody who doesn't know, so hi. And I'm not going to be tracking a lot with chat because I'm going to be busy talking to you, but there will be times when I ask questions. I'm just going to, since I'm on the chat thing, and I'm going to ask for your feedback through the chat, if that's okay. The difference about Zoetic meditations is that we tend to be both right brain and left brain. So it deals with the whole system, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, ethereally, in pretty much every aspect of who you are, in wonder and creation and discovery, all of these extraordinary aspects of who we are as human beings. And so you may find that there's a difference, like literally feeling a difference from the meditations. And hopefully the one that we do today, you'll actually notice that. I was originally asked to lead a class on compassion fatigue. And I'm doing that. So I'm going to do that. Compassion fatigue obviously shows up in any kind of caregiving, care providing, care partnering type of environment. And although the language has changed, there's still a lot of, it shows up whether it's in doctors or nurses, let alone in your homes and lives. In social, I don't know, like sociology, things like that. It shows up kind of everywhere. So I learned this term a few years back during the pandemic when a friend of mine who runs a very, very huge organization, community organization, actually one of the largest anywhere. He said to me, we were just hanging out, and he said, so somebody gave me this term I want to give to you because I know you'll understand it. And he said, compassion fatigue. And I found, first of all, he said it, and my reaction was, oh my God, I totally understand that. It would just thunderstruck me right inside right away. And I knew there's something to be written and given into the world for this, and talked and thanked him many times over for it, because this class got written. It's been taught actually for years. And it seems to make a difference. I think people who hear, even see these two words put together, and they go, that that resonates over here. I want to say in this world, I'm very new. My toes are just dipping in the water with ataxia. I have been a care partner a number of times with a number of people in my life, all the way through to the end of life. And I'm finding, as I'm examining this as a topic in the world, that caregiving is caregiving is caregiving. And one of the things that's really interesting is that compassion fatigue can work both ways. It can be the person who requires greater care, as well as the person who is the primary caring person for the, so in this case, both the person who has ataxia and the care partner for the person with ataxia, or people with ataxia. And there's compassion fatigue all the way around. There really is. So I'm just going to dig right into the class right away. There's a dictionary definition of compassion. I found fascinating when I first wrote this book. So having a class on compassion itself, it goes back even more years than during compassion fatigue. But the dictionary definition of compassion is this: a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for another who is stricken by misfortune. And here's the kicker on this one: accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate the suffering. So I'm going to say that again: a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for another who is stricken by misfortune, accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate the suffering. There are other kinds of fatigue, obviously. Weariness, bodily or mental exertion, a cause of weariness, slow ordeal, exertion. There can be just a temporary or even a permanent diminution of the irritability or functioning of organs, tissues, cells, fatigue, like the fatigue after excessive exertion or stimulation. But you put these two together and it's compassion fatigue. So you have this weariness that goes along with a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for another, accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate that suffering. So with those definitions in mind, I'd like to really look at what is compassion fatigue and how does that play out in your very, very real life. For that, we're going to go over to chat, and I'd like you to answer, how does this show up in your life? I'm going to wait for answers, by the way. I'm used to doing this verbally as an interactive class that way, so interactions will need to come from the chat. So how is this for you? Looking at this in a very, frankly, real way, like the shoulds that you have, or the must that you have, or the have tos, or I would feel guilty if I didn't. I'm exhausted and then do it anyway. There's no real time for me. Just real life, the very, frankly, kind of an impolite conversation, the stuff that you're not really wanting to say. So physical tiredness, absolutely. What else? What else have you got? My twin 2-year-olds have ataxia, and I want to make everything possible for them. I try to make sure they get PT, OT, and speech, but it is a lot on me. Yes, very much. Just like, it's just so much. It's not just providing life for somebody. There's also, what about your life? Repetitive exhaustion. Typing being required is not inclusive. I'm not sure I understand what that means. I'm sorry. Heaviness, surprise after surprise, bad balance, and fatigue. This is good, you guys. What else have you got? What does compassion fatigue look like and feel like in your life? Oh, some of us can't type. I wondered if that's what you meant. I'm so sorry. I got that. I don't know how to handle that since we're not seeing each other. Anger that I am impacting my family, frustration. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep up with this. Hopelessness, brain fog, not frog. It's not your fault. Like, yeah, it's not your fault you have ataxia. Lack of concentration. Oh, absolutely. The focus is down the tubes. Anxiety, absolutely ratcheted up. Oh, it's not my fault, Dawn. Got it. Thank you. I got that. I was really, it wasn't until today that I found out that this would not be interactive in the way I'm accustomed. So I apologize. People that don't get it. What are you dealing? Oh my gosh, absolutely. How many of you are surrounded by people who just like have no clue what you're talking about or how much it takes to do what you do? My legs get tired if I stand too long. Yep. That's for both the care partner and the person with ataxia, by the way. Also anger that I can't do things even if I'm trying. I get tired a lot throughout the day. All of these. I want to really look at this from an amazingly honest point of view. From the people who have ataxia, there's compassion with the people who are helping to take care of needs that are there. And then sometimes it's just like, dang, it's just so hard. I don't even have enough to deal with me. I don't have room to have compassion for you. And then and being embarrassed, like I should be able to handle this better. And then flip that around. The people who are I'm hesitating to say this word, care partner, because it's a change in language, but not necessarily in the relationship of it. So the care providers, caregivers, care partners, where it's the same thing. I love you. I feel like this is a blessing in some ways all the way around. And I don't want to do anything except what's good for you. But man, I'm just tired. And sometimes I'm just so tired, I don't have room to have compassion. Some of us are both caretaker and patient if we live alone. Absolutely. So we have feelings from both sides. Perfectly said. Not understood when I speak. And that's unbelievably frustrating. Just having baseline communication, kind of what Dawn was saying earlier. It's like some of us can't even type well enough to do this. Glad they try, but I'm frustrated too. Exactly. Being talked to about like a child. Yeah, like a child, like my voice doesn't count. And that's really got lots of emotions around that. Self-doubt. Absolutely. Yes. I get irritable with my spouse, not for good reason, but because I can't keep up like I used to. These are all amazing. And there's more. I mean, not like you haven't done this, but this is an exhaustive list. It does seem to go on. It runs the whole range of emotions. So I want to take a look. I'm just going to move this a little bit, only because we're limited with time. Otherwise, we could do this part of the conversation much longer. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut anybody off. What if we all took the premise that we all have infinite capacity to have infinite compassion? And I'm going to say that as in it's a birthright. Every single person I have ever met starts off compassionately. There are a lot of birthrights that we have. We are automatically and always love. We are automatically and always forgiveness. We are automatically and always compassion. And then we learn whatever we learn, and it seems to just get layered up, and there's less and less access to being that which we innately are. So, for example, I'm just thinking of an example. I actually remember this happening when I was a little kid, and we had a sandbox in my backyard, and I had friends who would come over and play in the sandbox. And it didn't happen to me. It was something I witnessed. But I saw one of my little friends throw sand into the face of another one of my little friends. And that little friend started crying. She had gotten sand on her face and in her mouth and in her eyes, and it was awful. And yet they were back together in the same sandbox the following day, completely happy as they could be to play with each other. There is a place of innate forgiveness and innate compassion. Like, you know what? I've had a bad day and thrown tantrums too. That's much bigger language than what we have when we're little kids. But when we're little like that, we just somehow know that, and we provide that with and for kind of everybody. Compassion when our mothers or our fathers are short-tempered, we forgive them immediately and have compassion for it, and then move on, and we still love them. It's just part of the extraordinary, amazing puzzle that we are as human beings, and the complexity of who we are. And that being said, compassion is this birthright. It's something that we have. So typically, when I lead a course about compassion, I can do entire courses about them. I ask, what is the biggest, wildest, no, I'm sorry, not wildest, widest. What is the biggest, widest, deepest, and most immediate key to compassion? Does anybody know what that is? Or what it might be? Should. It's actually one of the tipping points, is the more compassion we have for ourselves, the greater we have the capacity and actually the exercise automatically of compassion for anybody and those around us. So giving others the benefit of the doubt can be a huge act of compassion. Empathy. And what's the access to this? How do we access this? For me, it is knowing and experiencing the infinite love of God. Okay. Do you mean like deep breathing? Well, that's actually a good way to get us there. That I don't mean that, but we will be doing that today. Might take a look at finding that part of you or yourself that is just like judging, right? So finding that part of yourself that's just like the very thing that you or I are judging, knowing that's you too. That's kind of, this frequently bad news, right? It's like, that's not the issue here though. That's an accident. The issue is compassion fatigue. So the question that needs to be asked is a different question. And that's more around, how do I get out of feeling this way? How do I get out of coming back to compassion and get out of feeling like, oh my God, it's just too much for me to even think of being compassionate. Thinking about the other perspective, having experienced the same situation, the same or of like ilk. Absolutely. I'm going to lay down another premise that every single one of us yearns for just being. Being what, you might ask, and my answer would be being. Just saying that tends to provide some breathing room, like, oh God, yeah, that would be so nice if I could just be. Well, if compassion is one of the gateways to simply being, something we all yearn for, or said another way, it's something that can take us from the compressed ways that we tend to be to being that more expansive way that we all know that we have been and can be and would like to be. How do we get to just simply being when when you or I are unutterably fatigued, because we've got that piece in here, or more to the point inside of this never-ending cycle of, I have compassion, I'm too tired to have compassion. I have compassion, I'm scared not to have compassion. Oh my God, I would look so wrong and so bad not being compassionate. And I feel guilty when I don't feel compassionate, but I'm really just exhausted and I don't have room for this right now. So please just bugger off for a bit. So how do you get back to being your best self? Well, the truth is, if it were up to just me, which it's not, because we don't have the room for this, I would do 2 completely different meditations with you this afternoon. This one, I'm looking at the time. I also want to leave room for questions and answers. I'm going to do a compassion meditation. It is a mindfulness meditation, so it is a little bit more left-brained. But that being said, it seems that in doing this, it's not unusual for people to just kind of click out a little bit and not remember the whole thing. So as you settle in with the meditations, I'm just going to prepare you that on the other side, you may or may not be able to remember all of what's in there, but we're going to go for how you feel and what you feel. And how you show this. One of the comments that came in here. Actually, I'm going to read through all of these for people. Talking to that person like they were your beloved family member. Well, I'm going to say that because it came up earlier about having compassion for your own self. What if you were to talk to your own self like you were your own beloved? What if you are the most beloved of all, that it's about falling in love with you and having compassion for you? In fact, I would go so far as to say the extent to which you have true compassion for yourself, even if you tend to be harder on yourself than on others, but the extent to which you really do have compassion for you is the authentic extent to which you can have and do have compassion for anybody or everybody else. So how do I show some to myself? Part of that is pausing long enough to do something about this. Oh, which was the next thing, being reflective, taking time to think. So I'm going to do this meditation and I'm going to guide you through it. To start with, just get yourself. So yeah, Amy said, yes, like talking to your 5-year-old self. Yeah, well, as far as I can tell, we had all the same feelings that we have now. We had all those feelings when we were kids. We just didn't have the language for it all. We have more sophisticated language now, and we can identify more through language. But talking to ourselves like, this is this incredible, precious being who happens to bear my name and lives in the skin that I live in. Oh, wait, it's me. So talking to yourself that way as this precious being. And I agree with you, self-care. Boy, you know what? I love seeing these comments. I'm going to tell you the truth. So Mendy said self-care in order to refresh and begin anew. I really agree. I really toyed with the possibility of doing a different class today, which was falling in love with yourself. And part of that is self-care. Like, what do you need to do to take care of you? And I went this track instead. So I could do a whole other class on this. And I love that. I'm really a big believer in that. And I teach that and try to practice that for myself. And self-care has got a wide range of all kinds of things that really do matter. And then Kathy said the child within. I'm just going to do, every teacher has got their own thing. I personally don't believe in the child within. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to damage anybody's belief system in here, but it's kind of like if I cut you open, I wouldn't find a little mini you inside of you. You're just you. It includes who you were and who you are and who you are capable of being or will be, all of that. And so it's actually just talking to yourself as precious and treating yourself as precious, knowing that this precious you has always had all the feelings that you have. Nothing's new under the sun with that. We've always had love. We've always had fear. We've always had shyness and boldness and everything that goes into the mix of being these extraordinary human beings that we are. But there's no child there. It's actually you. And I would encourage you to talk to you, your precious, extraordinary, magnificent being, as if you were this precious, extraordinary, magnificent being, worthy and deserving to be talked to with that kind of love, with that kind of gentleness, and with that kind of compassion. So let's get to the meditation. I'm just a little time oriented here, knowing that we've got a limit. Bring to mind, if you can, just one piece of yourself that you know you don't have a lot of room for. Just pick one. You probably, if you're like most people, or I know, including myself, it's a list, but just pick one. And we're going to set that aside for the moment. And place your body into a comfortable, well-supported position. If you wear glasses, take them off. And if you have anything crossed, please uncross whatever's crossed. Uncross your legs, your arms. If your hands are like interlaced fingers, that's a kind of crossing, so undo those. If you're crossed ankles, undo that. And just allow your body to sink into being fully supported. If you don't have anything behind your head, you can either slump down so that you are protected and supported here. Or if you're comfortable with letting your head go down, that works too. Allow yourself to feel fully supported. And consciously sink into that, sink into the comfortableness, sink into the surface or surfaces that are supporting you, whatever is under your feet or legs, underneath your buttocks, your back, your neck and head, your arms. Just feel the support and feel your body being supported. And now just bring your breath into your awareness, breathing in and breathing out, breathing out and breathing in. It's the circle of breath. Have a continued awareness of just your breath. Breath in your nostrils and the slight way the nostrils move as you inhale, which is different than when you exhale. The feel of air cooling as it goes through your nostrils. And the feel of air as it goes out through your nostrils and how that feels warmer. Or if you're a mouth breather, it's the same kind of sensation with cool and warm. Feel the air in the back of your throat and how that air moves down your throat. Be aware of your breath in your lungs and how, when you inhale, your lungs expand, and how, when you exhale, your lungs contract. Bring awareness of how when your lungs expand, the muscles around your lungs relax, allowing your lungs to expand. And how that all reverses when you exhale. Feel how your belly expands and contracts as you breathe in and breathe out. Consciously bring breath into the bottom of your lungs and the backs of your lungs. And feel how your whole body expands as you breathe in. And how your whole body contracts as you breathe out. Notice how breathing in automatically moves to breathing out without any conscious thought whatsoever. And now follow your breath. Follow your breath in. And follow your breath out. As you follow your breath in with your inhale, travel with your breath into the center of your own consciousness. To the smallest particle of your awareness, smaller than an atom or an electron, smaller than a quark, a Higgs boson particle, or a lepton. Follow your breath into the center of your consciousness, smaller than a prion, smaller than we have been able to gauge so far or name, all the way into the center of your consciousness. And as you follow your breath out, follow it as far as you can imagine into regions outside of universal consciousness, out beyond the building or the neighborhood where you are, out beyond the Western hemisphere or Eastern or Southern or Northern hemispheres, beyond the planet Earth. Follow your breath out beyond our solar system and galaxy, all the way to the edges of the universe. And now follow your breath beyond that to where the universe will next expand and into universal consciousness. Breathing into the center of your consciousness. Breathing out into universal consciousness. Gently, easily, just breathing. You are the Bindu, that pivotal point that is the connector of the universal and the individual. All that is and the personal. You are that pivot point. Breathing in all that is. Breathing out the uniqueness of you. All that is cannot be all that is without you. Then it would not be all that is. And just so, you are not entirely you without the universal consciousness that abounds in everythingness. And so it is. Each makes up the other in you. And just breathe. And simply allow yourself to be here exactly as you are. Fully be with yourself. Bring into your consciousness someone whom you love dearly. Inside your own being, saying to that person, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Again, focusing on someone whom you love dearly. Inside your own being, saying to that person, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. And now bring into your consciousness someone about whom you care deeply. Saying to that person, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Consciously aware of someone about whom you care deeply, within your own being, saying to that person, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. And now bring into your consciousness someone with whom you are barely acquainted. Perhaps a friend of a friend of a friend. Maybe a cashier at a store that you go to frequently. It could be someone you've met in passing or simply have seen in your neighborhood. Saying to that person, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Saying to that person with whom you are barely acquainted, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Now allow your awareness to land in a situation where you see someone you don't even know at all. Walking down the street, noticing someone in the next car when you've stopped at a stoplight, a random person at a party or a fundraiser or a community event, a person at a train station or airport, and say to that person, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Saying to that person whom you really don't even know, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. And now bring into your consciousness yourself, saying to your own self, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Saying to your own self, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Now bring into your consciousness someone you really don't like, or someone you really do not trust. saying to that person, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Saying to that person whom you don't like or don't trust, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Focusing on your own self anew, say to yourself, may you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. And now recognize that inside of that we really are all one. Also recognize that saying this to yourself is really saying this to everyone. May you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. And now recognize that saying this to everyone is really saying this to yourself. May you be healthy and well. May you be happy and filled with joy. May you be safe. May you know you are loved. Take in a deep breath and hold that breath. Allow the wellness and the health, the happiness and the joy, the safeness and the love to feed the body you are in, and let that breath go. Release that breath. And now gently take another deep breath in and hold that breath. Allow the wellness and the health, the happiness and the joy, the safeness and the love feed the body you are in, and let that breath go. Gently open your eyes, allowing yourself to be present in this body and in this moment as all that you are. Locate anew in your consciousness the lack of compassion you identified at the beginning of this, and just notice what's there now. And I'm just reading, this is from before the meditation. Could I please explain the importance of cutting cords? Maybe that's a different talk. It is definitely a different talk. That would be a long other talk. Okay. So come back, open your eyes and breathe. I know that it can be a little bit more challenging. I see that there's a whole different section with Q&A. What can we do daily to reaffirm self, ignore the negative around self? Actually, the first exercise I would give you is to look in a mirror every single day. Do this for a month, by the way. 3 times a day, but 3 times each one of those times. So it's a total of 9 times a day. And say to the person in the mirror, this is eyeball to eyeball, I love you. And do it in such a fashion that the person in the mirror actually gets it. It's going to mean letting all this stuff come up, because stuff will come up. But get through that, and each time will be new, each time will be different. I promise you, if you do that, you will literally be in a different state of being. And then there is a question, how often should you meditate? And I always prescribe 2 to 3 times a day, 20 to 30 minutes each time. Sometimes people need to build up to that. Sometimes people plunk into that. I don't think that there's a right way to get to it, but I can say that we do know from a lot of studies, and I will say from Zoetic point of view, we've been doing, I used to teach in the mid 1980s. I'm almost 70 years old, so I've been at this for a while, but Zoetic Workshops as a particular form of this has been around for almost 23 years at this point. And I can say that we always say 2 to 3 times a day, 20 to 30 minutes each time. And that we know from the studies that we've done that there is an impact with once a day, but it's nice, I guess is what I'll get to. Twice a day, there's something that's more stable. But 3 times a day, literally, there's like a easy roll in that whole emotional being, which affects everything, mental, emotional. And that 3 times a day seems to be the tipping point for literally changing your life.
Thank you so much for this session. We have time for a few more questions. If you want to put them in the Q&A. Looks like I got my camera back working. So it's good to join you guys at the end of this. But yeah, any other questions? Feel free to put them in the Q&A. This has been such a great session.
Thank you. Anything that you want to say from the session? You can say anything you want.
It was nice to
Look at a picture and meditate. Yeah, there are a bajillion ways of meditating. There is no one right path. I'm convinced that there are as many different paths to being, or some people would say as many different paths to God, however it is, as there are souls. I really believe that. So you could look at a picture and meditate. You could look at a flame and meditate. You can do, for those of you who can walk, you can do walking meditations. You can do just breath meditations. We started this one with breathing. You can do mantra meditations. There's a lot. You could keep going, but there's a lot. Okay, Amy said, thank you. Excellent. Good. Thank you. for being here, really, everybody. I don't know if there are any, you're so welcome. I have to tell you, honestly, I'm very moved by this whole community, to be honest, very deeply moved all the way around. And just thank you for the privilege and the honor it is to be with you, for real. Okay.
Yeah, seeing a lot of thanks in the comments.
A lot of thank yous.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna cry. Anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to say how they feel, or if you can identify what's different now versus before? And thank you. Everybody's saying thank you to me. I just want to say thank you to you.
Let's see. Looks like Joel in the comments said calmer. Yeah, I definitely feel calm too.
Nice. That's good, because you were a little on edge before. I feel
All right. Raquel says she feels relaxed.
I feel softer, says Celia. I said the name wrong.
Janice says, thank you for your talent. I feel calmer too.
Nice. So keep doing this calmness, this more relaxedness. It literally will give you a different life. I promise. I think you know that, or you wouldn't have shown up here in the first place.
Yeah. Pauline says she feels less achy.
Nice. That's actually really important. I want to underline that. I feel less achy really is there, whatever it, we are connected systemically, mentally, emotionally, physically, like that. And the more we can really do that for ourselves, even in one aspect of who we are, the more it affects all of who we are. So that is a big deal, for real. I put my dog to sleep. I put your dog to sleep. That's funny. Animals love, if you meditate as a practice, your dogs and cats, pets, ferrets, whatever, they like to crawl into the space of meditation. So you may if you do this as a practice, you'll find that your pet will want to come in and be with you while you do that. They automatically go there. Okay.
Looks like Sue in the Q&A said that she feels very relaxed and filled with peace and joy.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. And Tom said, good stuff. I relaxed. New stuff to me. I'll use what I learned. Thanks. Oh, good. Using it going forward. That is like my dream come true. Thank you. Do we do any online sessions? We do. You can do our first level course by Zoom, and then we have a 9-session seminar you can do by Zoom, and I have a 1-day classroom that we do by Zoom. Everything else is in person, but we do have some Zoom classes. I guess I should give you how to contact me, huh? Let me, because people can save the chat if you want to. I'm going to just type in my email address so you can get hold of me personally. Oops. There you go.
And do you have I think we have your website on
Great.
on the AAC website, so they can check out your speaker bio as well as more information on you as well.
Yep. Website, and that's my business number right there.
All right. Well, again, Liora, thank you so much for joining us. Looks like we're about to hit the time on this. Oh, one last question.
Send us information. So I hope that did it. You can see the chat.
It looks like Jessica just asked, are there any meditation apps you
yes, I love answering that question. Thank you for asking. I should have said that. Thank you. I love Insight Timer. I'm a big fan of Insight Timer. It's an app that looks like, hold on, my phone's handy, so I'm going to show you. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Stop. Let me go. That's my alarm for not you. So it looks, let me get to my camera. It looks like that. It's a Tibetan bowl, is what that is. And like a singing bowl. You can find so many global teachers on Insight Timer, and also new kids on the block, basically. They're so far, actually, we're about to change, but I will tell you there's a free side and a paid side. We've always stayed on the free side, just really wanting to make this available in the world. I mean, we have people come and take our classes, but this was an access to just getting it out in the world in a way for people who don't have the money to pay for classes. So we're going to end up having it on both, but you will find world teachers who have both paid and free. There's a massive smorgasbord. It's a fun app to be on. You can friend people through the app. You can find out how many people were meditating the same time you were meditating. If you look up Zoetic Workshops or me, I guess either way, I think at this point we have like 30 or 40 meditations up on Insight Timer. We're about to take some of them down. We've actually been guided to, we've got a whole, like it's not the whole encyclopedia, but we've got a lot up there, and we've been guided to like have less available out in the world that way. But there's so much that you can get from there. So I really recommend it. I've found some really beautiful thinkers and beers on Insight Timer. So INSIGHT. I'll just put that in there.
Awesome. And yeah, and this session will be available for rewatch, a little bit after the conference. And so you'll be able to access all this information again. But again, Liora, thank you
I'm just
so
give
much.
one other access to, when the pandemic happened, people asked for me to please do something. And so we have a load. If you go to the Facebook page for Zoetic Workshops, Facebook archives everything, and you will find we did daily meditations. A lot of them were me to start with until I was burning out, and then my team hopped in for me. But there's a lot of people. So there's a lot of there's like pretty much like this was about a half an hour talk and a half an hour of meditating. So
awesome.
You'll find a lot of lessons and meditations there as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Thank you for everyone who joined as well. We have some more great virtual sessions coming up over the next few days, so hope you join us for those as well. And I'll see you then. All right. Thank you so much.
All love. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.